bury all the naked shares. I call them dead bodies. They bury all the dead bodies by virtue. So the bad guys grew from being some hedge funds and some outliers to the proprietary trading desks of the main firms.
Okay.
Goldman, Merrill, Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, UBS, Morgan. If you don't have shares, it's like free money. It's just another way to steal money.
Gotcha.
Okay? So when those locates are given, that facilitates the creation of another counterfeit share. Okay. Mm-hmm. So imagine how that multiplies in milliseconds over time. It's astronomical.
Yeah.
So another way that the whole information pipeline is distorted is once Reg Show went into effect, the broker said, well, I know how we can do what we can do. We can take these shares instead of marking them short, because on a share, you got a sales ticket, so to speak, you got to mark short, long, or exempt. Mm-hmm. Well, they would mark it long, which is a lie. It was a short. And because all this is done by computers. So the computer doesn't pick it up because it's marked long. So guess what? That doesn't go into the reported short interest that the SEC reports every 2 weeks. So whatever the short interest, whatever you think the short interest is in AMC and any of the others is a lie, okay? Because there's an incredible amount of longs out there that have been marked long that are short. In addition, it would take a hard to borrow stock, which puts it in a separate bucket, and make it say it's an easy to borrow stock. Mm-hmm. All of which is designed for more carnage to allow them to create more havoc, okay, more stealing. So, and we began to see other ways they're manipulating the system. Party A gets together with Party B. One buys a contract for 50,000 shares of puts. Another party to the conspiracy buys 50,000 shares of calls. And if you have a put and a call and a contract that expires at the same time, that is referred to in all these Wall Street terms as a synthetic share. These market makers, I believe, are now housing a bunch of these naked shorts. That exemption is being abused by many market makers. And what that means is you can hide in the bowels of a market maker a ton of naked shorts. Their auditors require them to keep enough cash on hand to buy in that share on a given day. Okay. In other words, I have to have an offset to that contingent liability in the form of cash, mm-hmm. which is why they manipulate it down every day. Why? Because the more they manipulate it down, that cash reserve they have to go buy that stock in, they get to put it back in their operating account because they don't need to hold that cash anymore because that stock is marked to market every day. It's like the options I talked about. 2 minutes before the close, all those offers come down, okay? So they're lies. All they're doing is attempting to control the market by fake information. Again, the amount of fake information in this thing from soup to nuts is endless. It's all lying, cheating, and stealing. That's simple at its base form. Lying, cheating, and stealing. So one of the ways to circumvent this is to put them overseas. And then lastly, another way they're doing all this is X clearing. But ultimately, there are many, many more shares that are issued because of this loophole that they can do it electronically and they're not delivering that exists in every single case I've looked at, which I've looked at over 60 or 70 cases. We've only taken 20 of those.
Fusion of how they pull it off. And you're saying that brokers you're saying that they're reusing the exact same shares of like, oh, sure, you could borrow these. And at the end of the day, when they're clearing their trades at the DTCC, that's when it comes up. They're like, oh no, we actually Xeroxed it in your example. And like, that's where it's kind of coming from. Am I getting that right?
I'm going to make it even simpler. Mm-hmm. Yes. The answer is yes to your question. They are loaning the same share out multiple times. That's number one. What does that tell me? There are no boundaries in this game, okay? It is simply, going to be hand-to-hand combat, which is what we've been doing. But your group has added a new dimension to that, not only of awareness and not only of investing in companies that are good companies in your mind, I don't know, and need help, but also being another bully out there that's not going to let a company get bullied, okay? because what's gone on until you guys showed up is that the kids in the schoolyard, who are sitting there fighting, are fighting 8 or 10 guys trying to beat me up. Okay. So you change the dynamic. Now I've got 8 or 10 bullies that have are coming to help me. Okay. And so that way, it's a fair game, because now they're exposed. They can't make good on the IOU, because don't forget, the corporation is the only person who has the right to legally issue shares. That's why we got them. Once we get this figured out, they're dead. Okay. Because they are stealing from good companies that can save lives, that can give us a better lifestyle, that can do all kinds of things to improve our life. So it's not just the money they're stealing, Matt. It's the jobs they're killing, the families they're impairing, the technology they're destroying, the lack of integrity in our capital markets, for God's sake, and really the stability of the United States. This is financial treason on the United States of America. This is financial treason on the United States of America. I believe it's over $100 trillion, this problem in the United States.
Wow.
The entire retirement of an entire generation.
Wow.
It's impairing the United States and families and marriages and jobs and people. And when you do that, by God, that's sacrosanct. You need to be punished, not fined. You need to be put in prison. It's real simple. Either deliver it or go to jail. If Matt, you and I counterfeited $20 bills, we'd be in jail by next Thursday. Okay. Really. And what's happening here? None of these people have gone to jail. Some lower life people have, but none of these big firms have gone to jail. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And come together and fight this, okay? Because it's truly going to be a total effort, and you guys and gals are an integral part of that. Believe me, to my core, that's the truth.